Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, I was going to start this video off saying you just can't make this stuff up. But actually, the WBC, they did make this up. They completely made it up. And so far, it's actually sticking. Well, I took off yesterday, and the day that I take off, the WBC, they make the most ridiculous announcement that they've ever made, probably in the history of boxing. And they did it just for one reason: to protect Canelo Alvarez from this man right here, Jermall Charlo. For those of you guys who don't know, Jermall Charlo, he's been the WBC mandatory for a very long time, at least 2 years. And has gotten to the point to where eventually Canelo Alvarez was going to have to fight him or give up the belt. So what the WBC president from Mexico decided to do is create a new WBC belt called the franchise belt, which allows Canelo Alvarez to fight whoever he wants and avoid whoever he wants. He no longer has to worry about mandatories. Now he can pretty much do whatever he wants to do. While doing this, the WBC, they made Jermall Charlo the regular WBC champion. So now the WBC, they feel both fighters get what they want without Canelo Alvarez having to risk losing to Jermall Charlo. Now they're both champions, and Jermall Charlo is no longer in line to fight against Canelo Alvarez, which is exactly what the WBC wanted and what I believe Team Canelo wanted as well. Because there's no way, if Canelo Alvarez wasn't a part of this decision, or Golden Boy, there's no way they would allow the WBC to make them look like they are afraid to get in the ring with Jermall Charlo, which is exactly what it looks like right now. I've never seen any fighter, any organization go this far just to avoid a fighter. And what's so crazy about this is it's often these Canelo fans that'll say stuff like, oh, you guys are just overhyping Jermall Charlo, etc., etc. No. That's what Team Canelo, that's what the WBC is doing right now. Because with the actions that they're taking right now, they're making Jermall Charlo look like the biggest boogeyman in the sport of boxing. And like I said, you cannot blame this solely on the WBC. You have to blame part of this on Canelo Alvarez and Team Canelo Alvarez, because they have not came out and said anything opposing what the WBC decided to do. They haven't came out and said, you know what, I want to fight Jermall Charlo as soon as possible. I want to show people that I'm not, and I don't want to give up my belt to avoid him. I want to show people that I can actually beat him. But that's not what Canelo Alvarez is saying. Instead, Team Canelo, they're going along with everything that the WBC is doing. I mean, a franchise champion? If that's the case, where's Deontay Wilder's franchise champion belt? And all the other WBC champions? What I don't understand is, how does boxing in general allow the WBC to get away with something like this? This makes the sport look really bad. And quite frankly, when it comes to Canelo Alvarez, I feel like he's taking one step forward and then he takes like 3 steps back. Because he just had that great impressive win, at least I thought it was an impressive win, over Danny Jacobs. And then he pulls something like this. Once again, I'm blaming this on Canelo along with the WBC, because Canelo is allowing it to happen. And this is not the first time that the WBC, they went out of their way to try to protect Canelo Alvarez. If you guys recall, right after, was it the first fight or right after the second fight, the WBC, they ordered Gennady Golovkin, he had to fight Jermall Charlo first in order to even get another shot at Canelo Alvarez. Now, even though that actually made sense, now that we see what the WBC has done with this franchise belt, it makes it extremely clear what the motive and the agenda is for the WBC, and that is to protect Canelo Alvarez at all costs. If you guys think about it, this is somewhat of a conflict of interest, and I won't even say somewhat, it's a direct conflict of interest, because you have a president from Mexico, the WBC president, who's willing to do whatever it takes to protect the biggest Mexican star in the sport of boxing. I mean, what is the point of being a champion if you don't have to defend against the #1 challengers. Because that is exactly what this new WBC belt is going to allow Canelo Alvarez to do. Duck whoever he wants, fight whoever he wants. So realistically, if you guys think about it, Canelo is really not a champion because that's a made-up belt. That's a made-up belt where, once again, you don't have to follow any of the rules. So if you really think about it, Canelo just gave up his WBC belt. He surrendered his belt to avoid Jermall Charlo, and that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And all these Canelo Alvarez fans that sit over here talking about how you don't like Charlo and he's garbage and he's this and he's that, you guys need to start telling Canelo Alvarez that. You need to give Canelo Alvarez and the WBC enough confidence to get in the ring with Jermall Charlo and prove that Charlo is what you guys keep saying he is. But for now, the facts are not backing up anything that you guys are saying. The facts are going against you guys completely. Because what the facts suggest is Jermall Charlo is the most dangerous and the most feared middleweight in the division, at least to Team Canelo and Canelo Alvarez. Because nobody was trying to protect Canelo Alvarez from James Kirkland. Nobody was trying to protect him from Rocky Fielding. Nobody was trying to protect him from Liam Smith, right? But they feel it is urgent to protect him from Jermall Charlo. So you could say whatever you want to say. At the end of the day, we know what time it is. And this is a bad look for the sport of boxing. And this is a bad look for Canelo Alvarez, because what the WBC doing is a reflection on Canelo Alvarez. So I'm gonna wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.